Perhaps someday I'll crawl back home, beaten, defeated, but not as long as I can make some stories out of my heartbreak, beauty out of sorrow. Sylvia Plath. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to the second session of Chakra Calm. Yesterday, I created some artwork focusing in on the chakra colors. I'm going to continue on with that. And yesterday, I shouted out to and strongly, highly recommend reading, picking up Wendy E Slater's collections of poetry, her Traduca series, as well as some others. Today, I want to give a very warm welcome and shout out to one of my newest discoveries, and she's been around for just a little bit. She's a young woman, and Amirah Al Wassif writes beautifully in-depth work that really show her passion for life and her struggles and overcoming some of those. So let's see what we're going to be working on today. Again, we're going to be using our rooted color in the chakra colors, the red, survival, nourishment, and growth, and taking from the earth. Our orange, our emotions, our creativity, our energy, sexuality, the flow, the ebb and flow of water. Our yellow in our chakra representing our intellect, personal power, and will. And all of these are arteza, and I've mixed them with 1 ounce of liquitex, gloss, and water to consistency. The green, the love, relating, integrating, or integration and compassion. Our blue, self-expression, truth and communication. Our purple, chakra, intuition, ESP, our inner wisdom or the inner wisdom. And the white, which is the universal connection that we have with spirituality, our consciousness, our awareness of things that are ourselves, within ourselves, as well as our universe. So I've leveled off my canvas, and hopefully the work and the paint, the composition will remain intact. What I thought I would work with today, I'm doing a floral pattern here, or using a floral pour. And I'm using this dish, very large actually, dish sink drainer, and we'll see if it works out. All right, so what I want to begin with first is putting down a pour in the center, a puddle of white. And here I've actually combined titanium white with the bone. And if you had seen it yesterday, I thought that the bone color was just appropriate, the idea of the body and the self and tuning in into those chakras. All right, so I want to place my very large strainer in the center, and I'm hoping it works out. I am using 14-inch hexagon, 6 sides, and when I complete the floral that I have envisioned, it will be the 7 that are in the chakra colors as well as in our rainbow, which we know. I'm reminded, or much of the poetry that she writes, that Amirah Al Wassif writes, is real thought-provoking, profound, and deep, and there's such an emotional connection that I came away with, and I related to it on so many levels. The beauty of, for example, in the rules of, I'm just shaking this up because it has been sitting for a bit, in the rules of blind obedience, for example, and it's in her other works as well. You'll find it in For Those Who Don't Know Chocolate, How to Bury a Curious Girl, and such, as well as some other that she has out there that are not in book form yet, but she has been working on them, and she continues to work and does beautiful things. So her poems can be found in print as well as online, and she's just beginning. Again, it's Amirah Al Wassif. I want to get started, and I'm going to go in with the red, our root color. Just shush it around. I'm going to go in with the orange. There is a freshness and a superb connection that I found. As I said, it's all-encompassing when I read Amirah Al Wassif's work. And on many levels. There's one poem specifically, the final scene in that book, The Rules of Blind Obedience, where she reflects back to her father. And the image that precedes that is of a little girl being carried on her father's shoulders. Going in with the green after I shush it. And many of the poems, if not all of her poetry, is preceded by some beautiful sketches. I want to go in with some white. That purity. A little heavy, just wait for a few seconds. I'm going to go in with my blue, self-expression, truth and communication. My white again, using our beautiful chakra colors. I hope you're all doing well today. It is rather cold still, but the sun is bright. So let's brighten it up a little bit more, bring that sunshine right in here. I'm going to go in with some more white. I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds for it to continue before we decide if we're going back in or not. Just want to read a poem, or the beginning of one of the poems that really touched my heart on many levels, particularly because I related to it, because I lost my dad when I was 12, and it's beyond imagination. It was a rather difficult time. So on many levels, I related to that poem, and it was the final scene. During his dying, he planted a group of kisses on the back of my right hand. I smiled with eyes full of salty tears and kept watching the tiny hidden moon that waved at me from behind his eyelids. I remember very well how my father used to mix wine and sugar through weaving stories. I still remember how he used to dip his brilliant poetic words in ink, which made from honey and creativity. Again, that can be found in her The Rules of Blind Obedience. Do grab your copies of Amirah Al Wassif's works. Just breathtakingly beautiful. I think I want to add another layer. So I finished off with the white. So let's begin it again, going in with our survival and our growing and earth nourishment, or nourishing our being from the earth. And this time, I think I want to break it up with a little bit of white as I go in. That purity, universal connection, our orange, our emotions and creativity. And hopefully you get a chance to be creative today, whatever gives you pleasure and joy. finding your inner peace, perhaps exploring your inner child. I want to break it up with the white. Going again with the yellow. Our intellect. Our power, our will. I'm going to break it up again with the white. Going in with the love, integration, compassion, which is our green on the chakra. Going to break it up again with the white. Going in with our self-expression, our truths, our communication, our ability to communicate. Going to break it up again with some more of the white. And I'm going in with our intuition, that crown, our inner wisdom. Just going to let that sit for a second while I put my gloves on. I'll move this over here for a few seconds. And hopefully you can catch this, see what's going on with our beautiful chakra colors. Just want to wait a few seconds for it to weave its magic, put my gloves on. In thinking about Amirah Al Wassif's work and the breadth and scope of the beauty of her words, reminded me of the ever-changing life circumstances, our upbringing, childhood memories, and some good, some maybe not so good, but we just keep going. You know, we need to have a focus, or at least attempt some things that would give us pleasure, or give us choice, and maybe redirect the course or the paths that we've chosen. But I'm reminded of a Robert Frost poem, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. And the last stanza of that: the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. I'll let that sit for a little bit. All right, I want to go in and I'm going to just add a little bit of white around the perimeter. It's kind of a reflective day right now. Just pop it along. Let's get this going. And again, I've mixed some bone white with the titanium. Oh, a little fuzzy. Can't have that there. All right, I think that might work. We'll just blow it out for a bit. Get some of those bubbles out of the way. All right, I'm going to give it a little twist. Why not? Let's take some chances. I don't want this to rotate yet. That actually worked out. All right, let's put this here. Wipe off my gloved hand. I'd really love to hear from you. give me your thoughts on what you think of the composition. Perhaps you have some suggestions. If you'd like me to create something or using a certain color palette, please feel free to subscribe, because you do need to be a subscriber in order to comment or hit that like button, which is very greatly appreciated. All right, so it's actually not bad. The inner part, and I'll show you later when we go in for a close-up, has incorporated all of the colors that are on the outer. All of those chakra colors can be found there, and it is spiraling. It is continuing that floral pattern, and it does have that floral effect inside of there. I am going to be spinning it, so it is going to spread out, and it may go more to one side than the other. And I've said this before, there's nothing perfect in nature, and that's the beauty, just like each of us. We are imperfect in some ways, we are unique, and we are special. So I do want to spin it, and I actually want to move this so that hopefully the canvas doesn't get ruined. Just watching that wheel go round and round this morning. All right, let me put some more paper down. Oh, it's actually doing really well. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's actually real pretty. I want to spin it and see if I can. I didn't want to tilt it because tilt it will distort it, and I don't want that to happen. But let's see if we spin it again. Get that side going. This is actually, and the chakra colors, which, you know, just like the rainbow, are found everywhere, anywhere. If you look closely enough, you'll find those patterns. It's taking me back to the 60s, you know, with the psychedelic colors and those t-shirts, tie-dye t-shirts and whatnot. This is actually quite pretty. Can't wait to show you in the close-up. So let's give it another whirl. Try to get it off to that side. Let's see what's going on. All right, there's one little spot right there that might need a little help, so let's just dab paint there and see if it will flow. Stop it. Oh. I don't want it to go too far. Oh, that worked. It's just a little tiny bit right here that, once again, I'm going to spin and stop it. And that did the trick. Let me just go in and touch up my edges. The paint will continue to flow down, so I'm not going to go underneath and wipe it off because I do want it to continue a little bit. The patterns underneath are a continuation of the composition from the top. So we're going to leave it just as it is. And I do want to move it. Oh, this is heavy. Let me switch off my gloves. Get a clean pair on. Is there snow where you are? I know some of the areas in the northeastern, or actually, sorry, the southeastern part of the U.S. is seeing snow, where typically you do not see snow in places like parts of Texas, even Florida, which is surprising. But strange things are going on, and that's okay. There's a beauty in the unknown as well. All right, I want to put it on that other turntable and let it do its magic. Wipe off my hands. Someone commented that they love my chatter. I so love to be appreciated, and I love that comment, actually. I remember growing up and thinking back as Amirah Al Wassif reminded me in that beautiful, one of the beautiful poems in her books, The Rule of Blind Obedience, in that final scene, and reflecting back on my own dad. And he had to quite often go into school and speak with my teachers because I was a chatterbox. So it was actually quite funny. So I appreciated that comment that they loved the chatter. So it was good. And that was from the United Kingdom. So thank you. Thank you. And I apologize. I do not remember that person's name. All right. So what I thought we would try now is an open cup pour. And again, I'm going to go in, and this time I'm going to just create 2 different puddles of that bone and titanium. And I place the tape around it because I'm trying to contain it until I'm ready to release it. I don't know if it will work with this type of pour. I have done it with a clean pour, a dirty pour, as I had when I used the minimalistic painting that I did for Rosemary. And she had wanted a purple, a gold, and a white. And it worked out beautifully, actually. And that one is gone. So I'm glad that someone appreciated it. So here what I want to do is do an open cup pour, and I have placed my white bone titanium mix paint with the water and the liquitex. There's no silicone here. I'm not trying to generate cells in that base coat. What I did is I did rub some silicone oil on the inner part of the cup. Sometimes it creates additional cell structures. The color palette that I'm using is slightly lighter, with the exception of our root color, that red, or survival. So let me shush it up just a little bit. I normally would do a cup and pour it down, but since I pre-mixed this like this and didn't want to use the cup for this particular pour, I opted to go with this. I do want to break it up with some of the white in between the colors, that purity, our universe. And I created an orange, which is actually an iridescent color. So it's on the lighter side, and it is a metallic. And again, these are new. They are based on the chakra, a little lighter, and it's okay. It works. Or at least we hope it works. Pour from up high. And I think I'm going to go in with some more white to break that up. So my colors remain true. I'm going to go in with my intellect, personal will, and power, my yellow. As the paint pours from the cup, or from the bottle in this case, it will sink to the bottom, and that is what will create that layer in the composition of cell structures. All right, I'm going to go in. And again, I'm using a metallic, softer green here, almost like a sea foam. That green representing love and compassion. So I'm going to pour from a pie. Stop. And go to this one. I'm going to, again, break it off with some, or break it up with some white in between. I'm going to go in with my blue, self-expression and truth, just like in Amirah Al Wassif's work. Again, grab her works up, The Rules of Blind Obedience, For Those Who Don't Know Chocolate, How to Bury a Curious Girl. Powerful, powerful journey, self-revelation, self-discovery, and growth. And blue. Again, I'm going to break it up with a little bit of the white. Going with our crown, our intuition. Sometimes our minds speak to us in ways we may not understand, or our hearts, sometimes together. Our inner wisdom. So I'm in awe for one so young. Her wisdom, again, Amirah Al Wassif, it is just, it's inspiring. Inspiring. All right, I want to leave for a couple of seconds. Hopefully it will create some magic. I am going to blow out some inner bubbles. Not too close to that silicone cup, open cup. I fear they will burn. That is not a look I'm going for. Most definitely not. Get this ready. Okay, I'm going to lift it just a little bit to release some of that air and have some of those colors peek through. Lift it up just a little bit. And do the same here. And the red is starting to release, sinking down and then rising, and that's creating those cells. I know you probably can't see it really well, but I'm hoping when we go in for the close-up you will. This is releasing some of that yellow, our intellect, our personal power and will in our chakra, as well as the green, which is our heart chakra color, love, relating, integration, compassion, all things related to the heart. All right, 1, 2. There are some cell structures here and some minor formation of boulders that are, give it a 3D effect. So when you're looking at the composition, you're looking at the artwork, it's drawing you in to that. All right, so I want to lift it up a little bit and give it a little twist. And just watch a little bit more. I'm going to torch it lightly. And those release. When you're torching, it does release some of those bubbles, as well as generating some more cells. The blue is starting to pop through, and here the blue is encapsulated in that purity, our universe. It's quite pretty. All right, so I want to twist it, and I'm going to actually bring it out into nature, into space, almost a floral design. Take it down. Want to, deciding where I want to go with this. Let me go in the opposite direction. So I'm going to bring it toward you. those colors. Again, into a infinity, releasing those beautiful chakra colors. I'm going to torch it. This is actually a lot lighter than I had thought. And the green, I guess it might have been a little bit too light. The metallic is not popping up yet in terms of the green. There are just some hints of it. And when I stretch it, those cells will open up a little bit more, and that may actually work out well. So I want to go in and add some of my white to help it flow. And again, it's a bone white with titanium. One of the problems I had, and sometimes I have to step back and kind of judge and assess what's going on. And I think one of my problems in some of my previous pieces was that I made the paint too thick. And for some pours, it actually works. Like in puddle pours, where I deconstruct, it works on those. But something like this open cup, and even that floral that we just did, that thick consistency just does not work. All right, so I actually want to step and see what we're going to do. Again, the green, our chakra green, is not real prevalent here. There are hints of it here and there. And again, as I stretch it, they may peek out through those boulders. So let's see. I'm going to tilt it toward you. And again, I put the tape around it just because I was trying to go for a composition where the colors would stay intact, or the paint would more or less interplay with or share nicely, as it were. There will be some negative space here, and I'm okay with that. Tilt it toward you so you can see what's happening here. And again, this isn't the, oh, there's that green. The yellow has not popped through as I had thought. But I'm thinking once I take that tape off and it stretches out some more and those cells open up, that yellow may pop through. Again, it's not that true chakra that we saw in the floral that we just did. But again, it's surprising because as it dries, especially with the metallics, they start to develop a richness to them, and the color pops a little bit more than it is right now. So we'll see. I haven't said we'll see in a while. Were you waiting for me to say that? And there it is. All right. I know I'm going to lose this here, but it's so pretty. I wish it would remain. But once I take that tape off, it's going to take it to another level. So let's check it out. Taking the tape off, colors will run off, or the paint will run off the canvas. And again, I'm using 14-inch hexagon, 6 sides. And my floral piece, that center is that 7th for the 7 colors of a chakra, as well as our rainbow. All right, let me put this here. All right, well, I think what I want to do, rather than tilt it, I think I'm going to spin it. But first I need to tidy up just a bit so that when it spins off, the paint won't go into these cups that I will more than likely reuse or use in another piece. All right, so let's see what happens. There will be some negative space now as it's running off and it's doing its thing here on the spin, on the turntable. It's taken on another look. I like the center. It's developing a real great focal point because some of those colors are peeking through, and it's actually quite pretty. Yes, some of the yellow is starting to break through. Like it. There we go. It's a more muted palette, where I know with the Chakra, many are used to seeing the richer, bolder of the red and the orange, yellow, the green, the blue, the purple, popping out at you, and this is not that, but it may work in bringing the composition together. We'll see. I haven't quite decided yet, and if you have any suggestions, again, please do subscribe, and I really appreciate those. All right, so let me break some more and see if we can generate any more cells. There's some green and blues that are interplaying over here, and those are a little bit more vibrant in true Chakra color fashion. The blue is real predominant, and in areas where the red and the blue mixed, we're getting that indigo that you will find in our a rainbow, but not in the Chakra, because the Chakra has the white. And so I think it works. The sides are actually quite pretty. I'm not sure if you can catch this. I kind of spin it a little bit so you can see the runoff of the paint that has a continuity to the composition. So it just draws down. So this can actually, remain on its own or become part of the floral that I am doing. I am creating an additional one because as I'm creating this, I'm not really sure if that's where I want to go with it. All right, so if I can just put this to the side and have it do its thing. Put it right there. It's wood, so it should come up easily. And let me just wipe off some of this paint. Put some down. It is rather messy with the turntable pours for sure. All right, one final piece that I thought I would do for you today is called pour and then use the marble effect to create almost a floral pattern, but free-flowing. So what I want to do is put down white, and this one is actually a titanium white. It does not have the bone in it. All right, let me tilt it just a little bit. And I put the tape around it again because I wanted to contain this particular composition before I decide if we're stretching it or it's moving. And there's some free floaters. Don't know how they got in there from the paint. It happens. Oh, this is flowing beautifully. I have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself with the way that I mix this base pour right now. So it's working out really well. Yay. Creativity, self-expression. I'm happy with it right now. All right, I want to pop some air bubbles before I puddle pour it. I don't want to do it too much because of that tape. I fear it may burn. All right, so I want to go in with my colors. And I'm going to use the Arteza red. Put some there. Put my cap on. Put my orange. So what's on your reading list right now with this weather? It's good times to curl up with a book and read, whether it's the poetry like Amirah Al Wassif's poems, or from yesterday, Wendy E Slater. I've mentioned some books earlier, Eva Pasco, J.S. Frankel's, Mark Canali, and there are more coming. I have quite a few on my on the list list that books I have read and books I will be reading. So I hope that you stay tuned for my next set of book recommendations. Since there is white here, our purity, our universe, spirituality, I won't be using it here. So I'm just going with the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, and the purple. All right. I think I want to go here. Oops. Now, typically when I do when I've done a marble effect composition, I do puddle the entire canvas pretty much, or at least a good portion of it, perhaps 3/4 of it, and then just use the marble to kind of go. But I want the white to remain because that is, in my opinion, one of the most important. They're all important, but that chakra composition or the colors of our chakra, I think that the white is the base where everything else may follow. I don't know, just my thought. If you have a thought on your ideas about our chakra colors, please do share them with me. I'm always looking to explore and discuss just happy little things in our universe. All right, so I did our green. Let's do our blue, and I think I want to go on the opposite end since I have the purple there and that's coming up again. I don't know if I want to add more to this. You know what? I'm going to leave it like this. I'm not adding any more puddles. And we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm using a marble, a weighty marble. Light ones do not work as well. So I'm going to put it in the center. And I'm going to tilt the canvas just to get the that marble going, to pick up some colors, our chakra colors. Maybe down this way once more. I don't think I want to do it anymore. All right, so you can see what happened here. I could have continued on with that marble, but when I remove the tape and it starts to drip down, weigh the paint down from the composition, I think that those will expand, so I do not need to add any more. But of course, you can just continue on with wherever you want that, the composition to wind up. That's entirely up to you. Use that blue creative energy from the chakra to guide you along. Do you want to get another pair of gloves on? Because it's there's a lot of paint today, a lot of paint runoff, and that's okay. Takes me back to my early days in elementary school. All right, so I'm taking the tape off, and let's see what happens as this begins to magically do its thing. It's interesting because with the marble, there will be areas that some of the paint gets lifted off and you're almost seeing a bare canvas, but I primed it with that white. So that, in addition to the paint, actually is going to start to fill in those spaces, and especially in this type of technique, I'm not too concerned. But you can see what happened here. And so we do have some muddying, unfortunately, here, but I'm thinking perhaps as we spin it, they will run off. I'm not too thrilled about it, but let's see what happens. I am going to give this one a spin. Oh, maybe wait and move the other one, because I do not want that one to get any more paint on it. All right, let's spin and see where this goes. It's actually where those bare spots were. All the colors seem to be commingling. So we've got our chakra right toward the center as well as on the ends, and it's actually quite pretty. The purple, our intuition, our inner peace, our inner energy, our inner wisdom is popping through, as well as our heart. That green and yellow, the interplay of those kept separate. I'm so thrilled that they did not get muddied. And here, where the blue again met some of that red, has turned to that indigo color. So it's actually rather pretty. What happened here is where the marble hit and it went down to that bare canvas, the satin enamel that placed down is kind of helping to balance it. So what's going on is it generated some additional cells, and they're popping up as white with bulger-like effects to them. So there are hints of the red and the green that are interplaying. This sort of reminds me of a leaf or part of a tree bark, almost a Fibonacci sequence to this composition. Love the wispy effect, and it's almost leafy effect that's going on here. I do want to spin it again. I'm really liking this part right here. It doesn't have our yellow, the intellect, that personal part of us, that chakra, but let's see what happens. Do not want to tilt this. I could have, but I thought a spinning technique might be better. Let's see. I think I want to pop it, and I don't think I want to do anything else with it. Well, let me touch up the sides and do give it one more spin, because some of the sides have not come down. They may need a little bit of help. So let me just touch them up a little bit. And yes, I must spin it one more time, because as I said, the colors did not run off as I had expected there, but I think that might be it. All right, so it's continuing its whirlwind. It's doing a happy dance right now. Our world, our chakra world. Chakra. It's just beautiful today. Real pretty. I really like the marble effect here, and that negative space, it's really not negative in our chakra world. We think of our universal connection. We are grounded by that white, and there are some hints of color popping through in the form of a cell. I'm going to pop it one more time and see if there are additional cells that are, or colors from our chakra that are going to peer through to that white. But we'll see what happens. It's simple, yet really detailed and quite pretty. All right. Let's see. Now I do see some of that white pushing away from the our purple and peeking through. There's some green peeking through that's bringing up some of the yellow with it. And here, there are real tiny boulder cells that are happening, and each one is grabbing onto the extraordinary colors of our chakra. And that works really well. I want to take you in for a close-up so that you can see the compositions. And I want you to remember that you are the author of your story. Make each chapter shine with brilliance. Okay. Let me take you through the last one we just did. A couple of bubbles that I'll go in and take care of. And here's that first one that we did. See that deeper or closer. And then this one was that open cup pour that is not the true chakra, so I may revisit this one. It has a lot more of the blue, and isolated, it's fine. There are some boulders and some lacy effects that are going on here, but overall, I'm really not too thrilled about this particular composition. I want to take you through what I'm working on, or what the final part of the final product would look like. I'm going to add 3 more so that we will have, or I will have, a full array of chakra all interplaying to one magnificent universe. Till next time, be good to one another and yourselves. Thank you.